Hello and welcome everyone. It is Wednesday, March 27th, 2019. Today was New Comic Book Day, best day of the week. Time for another new comic haul video. I'm going to run through all my books. I have a few spec books at the end I'm going to talk about briefly. Nothing major, but well, again, it's spec books, so you never know. But I think they're really good ones to get. I'm also going to run through some people have asked. I've got a few comments. People asked me about free comic book day books to be on the lookout for. So I'm going to kind of run through the free comic book day comics that I'm looking at getting, because there's some really good ones that are coming out. We'll get into that kind of near the end. Before we get going, though, I want to thank all my subscribers. Really appreciate everybody taking the time to watch my videos and send me comments. I really appreciate it. And normally I do a comic shop shout out, and I'm going to do one now. It's Royal Collectibles, who I talked about a month or so. I gave them a shout out. They're in New York City, and I mentioned that if you spend a couple $100 at their store, you get a free shirt. And I just want to let them know they sent me a shirt, so it says support your local comic shop, and then on the sleeve it's got Royal Collectibles, if I can find it here. Oh, yeah, it's got Royal Collectibles on the sleeve. So thanks very much, you guys. I really don't expect people to send me stuff, but I do really appreciate it when you do. But please don't feel like you have to send me stuff for doing shoutouts. I do it because I love comics and I'd like to try and support the community, and that's why I'm doing a giveaway stuff right now as well. So again, thank you so much to Royal Collectibles, and I'll put their address and number and everything down in the comments again, because they, from what a lot of comments people have sent me that go to that store, they're a really good store and great to their customers. So Royal Collectibles is my shout out today, and I really appreciate it. I also got to give a shout out to Nick at the Key Collector Comics app. He helped me set up a logo for my 6,000 subscriber giveaway. And it's not that I asked him to. He noticed what I did is I just copy and pasted an image from the internet, stuck it on my Instagram. I wasn't even thinking. He goes, that might be copyrighted, dude. Here, let me make you something. So he made me something, sent me an image, which I really appreciate. And he's got a great app. You know, he's never going to be as cool as me, or as knowledgeable as me, or as good looking as me, but I really appreciate his help. He's a good guy. I like bugging him. So anyways, if you haven't checked out his app, you should, because it's a really good app and there's a ton of knowledge and information there. And he'll tell you, I'm going to be the first one to tell you, and he'll tell you the same thing. He puts a ton of comics on there for Spec and everything. Don't feel like you got to run out and buy those. He's giving you the info, and it's something you want to get, go get it. But he's not telling you to go buy it. And I'm going to tell you the same thing. Don't just run out and buy everything he puts out on there. Do your own research. We're all adults in this world, and you're accountable for your actions. So, although our government doesn't seem to be, but anyways, that's a different story. Try and keep the politics out of my videos. Anyways, we'll get into my books this week. Started my independence. Couple books that I wanted to get a little while ago, but I didn't have them. My shop just brought them in. I got Fart Night #1 from Keen Spot. I wanted to get that one. That was cover A. And I really was looking forward to that one. I just, Fart Night, that's pretty funny. And then was able to get Grumble #1 and Grumble #2. I didn't get those when they first came out, and I couldn't get them. My shop was able to track down a couple copies for me, so I was happy to get those. So those are just a few older ones. And then this week I got Ice Cream Man #11. Man, this is one of my favorite series. I've had it since, I've enjoyed it right from #1 up to this one. And I'm looking forward to when the TV show comes out, because that's going to be cool. And I love that cover B. That's just a wicked looking cover. I showed that one a little while ago as one of my books down the road. And that's a great looking cover. And finally we got our, with Spawn $2.95, we got the picture, or the image of Spawn holding the clown's head. That's been shown for a little while. They showed this in the last issue and it didn't come out, and I'm glad it came out on this one. It's a wicked looking cover. I love that image. And it's a pretty good issue. I read that one. It's not bad. And then I got the black and white version as well for that. I try to get all 3 covers if I can for that. And last independent I got, and this was one of my picks this week, was Neon Future #1. My shop only had like 2. He only brought a couple copies in because he had no idea what it was like, and I actually read it. It's a really good story. I really like that story. Boy, that's one I highly recommend. If you find that sitting on the shelf, pick it up, because that is a good story. And I can see that one going somewhere. That's got movie and TV written all over it, so that is definitely a good one to get. And the art is really good, and it's a really good story. So regardless if it gets picked up, it's a nice one to read. I'm going to go into my Marvel. I got Daredevil #3. I was thinking something big was going to happen to that because I found nothing in solicitations and not a whole ton happened in it. But anyways, picked up Hulkverines #2. I got the variant. Wasn't a big fan of that cover A. So I got that one. And that kind of reminds me of Zafino's artwork a little bit. And I got to show you this image at the back here because it's for the next issue, for issue #3. So there you go. You got Weapon H in the foreground, and then you got the Hulk with claws, and you've got Wolverine who's now green. So they turn both of them into Weapon H's as well. I know, and if you read the story, it's kind of what they're implying. I sure hope it doesn't stay that way in the in the Marvel universe, because boy, oh man, one Weapon H is enough. But we'll have to see where. There's only one more issue in that one, so let's see where that goes. Picked up my Amazing Spider-Man #18, and I am going to show some images in here. I should have warned you that before I showed you the last one. But that creature, boy, you know, they're sure dragging this out. This guy, right on the last page, he shows up, and he showed up in issue #1. Basically, his first full appearance was issue 1. And we still don't know his name and who it is or anything else. And boy, like I say, they are dragging this out. We're on to issue 18 now. Still don't know who that is, but I really like it. I haven't been liking this Spider-Man series all the way along. I bought every issue because I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, but I'd really like to find out a little more about that guy. Doctor Strange #12. I don't buy all the issues, but I love Galactus. It's just a wicked cover. And you do get a first appearance of this guy in here, this new character, and his name is it's kind of a weird looking character, actually. Not sure I'm a huge fan. I'll show you the name. I just got to find it here real quick. Oh, yeah, there you go. His name is Zolaz. So I mean, he's kind of a, I don't know, 6-armed or 4-armed dude, I guess. But I didn't think the artwork was all that great in this issue. You know, compared to a lot of the other books, I don't know, it was kind of subpar, to be honest with you. I expect a little more, after reading Venom and Immortal Hulk and a bunch of other titles, that was subpar artwork. Got my Incredible Hulk 181 facsimile edition. That is a nice looking book. I've got the original one, but and like I say, I photocopy my books, or scan them, I should say, and then print them out and laminate them and put them up on my wall so that I don't have to worry about damaging my originals, because I don't want sunlight wrecking them. But this is one you can buy an extra copy, and if you want, stick it up on your shelf, because it's other than the big barcode down here, it's pretty true representation of the original one, so really good. And then I got my Avengers No Row Home #7. Got a few copies of that one. Again, spoiler alert in here. This one it's a fairly big reveal, but I mean, Conan is definitely fighting with the Avengers and everything in this one. If you haven't read it, turn it off or whatever. But last page, you get the spirit of Balit shows up. So now, and she's stabbing Conan, so what the heck's going on? I don't know. Does that mean Conan's going to die and go back to his realm or something? I don't know. Who knows? But boy, I'm liking this Avengers No Row Home. And, these big events, they have them for a reason. They're there to further a storyline, or obviously to get certain characters, bring them into the fold like they did with Immortal Hulk last year. I've said it a few times, and it looks like Conan this year, so that's pretty good. I like that one. It's not as good as the last issue, but it was pretty good. From DC, I got Silencer #15, and that is your first appearance of Smoke. She is pretty cool looking character, actually. I'm going to show you some images in here. And it's a full appearance too. She's on a whole bunch of panels near the end of the book. So it's that's her there. They Called Me Smoke. Looks pretty kick-ass. Looks like a witch almost, but and she's on the cover of the next issue, which I'm not sure, 16 or 17. I can't remember. She's on the cover, but that's her first appearance, and that's her first full appearance too. So that's pretty cool. Picked up Martian Manhunter number 4. I got the Josh Middleton cover. Haven't been reading this all the way through. I read number 1. And then in here, there's this character Charn that shows up. Boy, there's a ton of stuff showing up this week. I really like this, the look of this guy, though. He's kind of, I am Charn. Looks pretty wicked. Kind of melts his face, in the image before, his face all kind of melts off, and then he turns into that character. So it's kind of a creepy looking dude. I like that. That one I like. I might keep going with that, actually. Like I say, I picked up issue 1. I didn't read it 2 and 3. I might have to try and track down those issues because they're pretty good. So I grabbed Action Comics 1009. Again, it's kind of that Leviathan Rising. And I really think this has a tie to Naomi, as I've said a few times. Man, another reveal here. So Clark Kent and Lois Lane, they have this kryptonite technology that, you know, turns Superman into Chaz. And of course, he's a black Superman with a beard, so African American, whatever you want to say, however you want to say it. But I don't know. There's been rumors that DC wants to put out a black Superman, kind of like Marvel's got, you know, Miles Morales, all that kind of stuff. So whether or not they are, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's the first time Superman's looked that way. So we'll have to see. It's a good one to get, anyways. I got 2 copies just because of that. Then of course I got my Batman Detective Comics 1000. I got the Midnight Release cover, which I like that one. It's a really nice cover. It's basically your cover A, but the wraparound, only it's all on the cover. I got the 1970 cover, really like that one. I got the 1980 Frank Miller cover, really like that one. And then I got the Greg Capullo 2010 cover. I didn't get them all, but those are the ones I got. And I have to show you because, of course, it's been talked about. I'm sure you've all read it by now. You get Arkham Knight showing up right on the last page, so it's a first appearance, not a full appearance. So technically 1001, the next issue is going to be your first full appearance. So that's going to be a really good one to get as your next issue. I know a lot of people are dropping it as soon as 1000 comes out. But I would suggest keep going it for a while because, like I say, the next one will be first full appearance, and 1004 is going to be the mask comes off, and you're going to find out who it is. So it's going to be interesting to see who the Arkham Knight is. So that'll be really cool. So that's it for my books this week. I do want to talk about a little bit of Spec stuff here. Now, this came out, Infinity Warps came out last year. And this whole Infinity Wars thing, it was a big event, and it kind of it had some really good moments. You know, Requiem kills, chops Thanos' head off, and all that kind of stuff. But I really think the big portion of that was bringing in and introducing the Infinity Warps. And at the time, a lot of people, I recommended, man, you got to buy these books. And so many people told me that, you know what, it's just a kind of a one-off thing. It's a alternate universe and everything. But issue number 3 is going to run through it again, and I'll tell you why in a second. You get issue number 3 technically is the first full appearance, or at least I think it is, of Soldier Supreme, because he shows up at the beginning of this, like throughout the story. He's in a few different images and pages and stuff, as well as at the I can't remember the page, but anyways, he's in there a few times. But in the middle of the book, you get your first appearance of Iron Hammer, Soldier Supreme, Weapon Hex, Arachnite, Ghost Panther, and you also get Diamond Patch too. And at the end of the book, you get Diamond Patch. He's kind of a first full appearance for him because he's talking. He's on several panels, and you also get Dewpool as well. So that's a good one to get, a really good book to get. So that's issue number 3. Kind of the big one of them all. Number 4 is your first appearance of some more of the Infinity Warps, who are, hang on one sec because I got it written down so I don't forget. You get Moon Squirrel, Tippy Sore, Terrific 2, Mr. Invisible, Hot Rocks, and Green Widow. So that is your first appearance of them in that. And then they had their own Infinity Warps book there that came out a little bit later. That's another good one to get. And then Infinity Wars 6, at the end of the book, perhaps it'll grow and give us birth new powers. They talk about how they're going to be defenders of this new world. So that's kind of where it left off. And then it went into all the, they had the little series. They had Weapon Hex, which is, in my opinion, is of them all, is the best one. You have Weapon Hex, so I'll show you that in a second. You got Ghost Panther, you got Arachnite, Iron Hammer, and then Soldier Supreme. So for the most part, those are really good ones to get as well. And the reason I like Weapon Hex, I showed it before, and I show it again. You get your first appearance of Speed Weasel at the end of that issue, and then issue number 2 is your first full appearance of Speed Weasel. So that is, in my opinion, is a really, really good one. It's also your first full appearance of Weapon Hex in that issue number 1 as well. But the reason that's a big deal, at C2E2, which was just finished up, it was announced that Secret Warps event is going to be happening, and it comes out in July. There's 6 annuals: Arachnite, Soldier Supreme, Weapon Hex, Ghost Panther, Iron Hammer, and then the Infinity Warps annual, so 6. And the thing that's a big deal about it is Al Ewing is going to be the writer for these, who's doing as you all know, he's doing the Immortal Hulk, and he's, in my opinion, along with Donny Cates, one of the top writers in Marvel. They're not going to put him on an event with all these Infinity Warp characters if it was just, you know, whatever. These characters are going to be sticking around. They're going to be in the Marvel continuity, in my opinion, at some point. Just like they're bringing Conan in, I mean, it's comics. Anything can happen, and I highly suggest you pick up these books if you don't have them, especially Infinity Wars number 3, which is your first appearance. Issue number 1 of Soldier Supreme, Iron Hammer. These are all the first full appearance of these characters. Arachnite, Ghost Panther, and Weapon Hex. And Weapon Hex, I highly recommend 1 and 2 because that's your Speed Weasel. Those are really good. Boy, that character, in my opinion, is going places. So because of that, they're going to be a permanent part of the Marvel continuity. And it'll be probably in an alternate universe, but I highly suggest, or in my opinion, I think they will be coming into continuity at some point. So really, really good one to get. So that's my opinion on that. Anyway, just wanted to run through that because I saw that Al Ewing was writing that. And boy, he's a good writer. And they're not going to put him on it for no reason. So my free comic book day, I want to run through some of the books I'm looking at and why. I've got quite a few. I've shown a couple of these, but we'll get going through them. I talked about this one just recently, Amazing Spider-Man. That's going to have Cates and Stegman doing an original Venom story leading into Absolute Carnage. And it's really cool that Cates is calling Carnage Dark Carnage now as of that. Hang on one second. All right, so because of the events of Carnage Born, Carnage was revived using the sample of Grendel. And because of that, he when he first came out, he was all black and red and everything. So anyways, Cates is referring to him as Dark Carnage. So technically, that's a really good book to get. It's dirt cheap already. I mean, they're cover price, so highly suggest you get one of those. If you don't have Carnage Born, boy, you need to get one. Anyway, so that Amazing Spider-Man free comic book day will lead into it. It's an original story. And I just got to say real quick that a lot of these free comic book days in the past, they were basically just reprints, you know, and whatever. But now a lot of these are having original stories or tie-ins to stories that are coming down the road. So they're really good ones to get. The next one is Dark Horse Stranger Things Black Hammer. It's going to have a Stranger Things story, but then it's going to have a Black Hammer story with 2 groups of brand new heroes from the past. So it sounds like there's 2 new characters showing up in there. Whether or not it is, I don't know, but it sure sounds like it. So that looks to be a good one. From Image, Deadly Class Killer Set. It's a special one-shot standalone story. Killer Class, or Deadly Class, looks to be a good show as well. So that might be a good one. For Marvel, Avengers, it's got a 10-page news story leading into Savage Avengers. So that's going to be a good one to get because that Savage Avengers looks like it's going to be a good title. From Vault, there's Interceptor. It's Donny Cates. It's just a reprint of the previous Interceptor. Nothing new there, but just because the other ones are so hard to find, that might be a good one to pick up because that's been optioned. From Albatross, you got Grumble versus the Goon. So it looks, what happens, it looks like Grumble ends up in the world of Goon in a new story. So that, I love the Goon, and Grumble's been doing pretty well. It's a cool story as well. So the fact that they're merging, they're in the same kind of universe, so it looks like they're merging them all into one kind of story. So that looks really cool. From Dynamic, you got Vampirella, the 50th anniversary. It's a special preview of the 50th anniversary issue coming out. So that looks to be a good one if you're a Vampirella fan. I'm probably not going to pick that one up, but I know there's a lot of Vampirella fans out there. I can't remember who the heck is that from. Anyways, there's there's Ronaldo Strike Force 7. Ronaldo becomes a superhero. Now, this is one, if I can find it, I'll get it. I'm not going to run around trying to get it, but it's one of those, Cristiano Ronaldo, he's a world famous soccer player, and if they're making a comic book out of him, I'm going to grab one. So Spawn #1, it's a reprint of Spawn #1. But the only cool thing about this, it's got a new exclusive Matina cover just for the free comic book day. So if you're a Matina fan, that might be one you want to get. From Red 5, I showed this one several months ago. Dark Age. It's a whole new storyline, and it's a one-shot Dark Age comic, obviously. And it's also got a new Afterburn story in that, and that's got the movie coming out soon for Afterburn. And I think Dark Age has been optioned already, and it hasn't even come out yet. So that's a really good one to get. From Scout, this one looks really good. You've got Midnight Sky. It's got a Invasion of the Body Snatchers feel to it. It's a special prequel, so that looks really good. And then you've also got Long Live Pro Wrestling and previews of 4 upcoming titles: Devilry, which I showed. I got that from Scout, an Ashcan, Red Winter, Dust, and Snow White Zombie. So that looks to be a good one. I really like that Midnight Sky. That looks awesome. From Source Point Press, you've got Hope. It's the first full issue of a secret superhero, so that's kind of cool. It's your first issue, but it's like issue 0 kind of thing. Definitely recommend that one. And last one is from Overstreet. Now it's a comic collector how-to info. So if you're new to collecting, it's definitely something you're going to want to get. If you're returning to collecting after a bunch of years and kind of want to see what the new stuff is, it's definitely worth getting. Even if you're an old hand at it, it's still, you might pick up a few tips or whatever. That looks really good, so that'll be kind of in it. They may give you some tips on grading and stuff too, I don't know, but that looks like a really good one. So anyways, that's it this week, folks. Happy hunting out there. There's some good books out there to pick up. Talk to you later in the week. Bye for now.